olive green buggy with star graphics powered through a muddy section before charging up a series of steep ledges. Just before reaching the top, the vehicle lost momentum, slid backward, and flipped onto its roof into the ditch below. The violent impact then caused the underside of the buggy to erupt in flames. The green pickup truck accelerated across a series of dirt jumps on the track. As it launched over a large muddy pit, one of the front wheels suddenly broke off and flew into the air, causing the front end to dig into the water. The truck flipped over once and came to rest in the middle of the muddy pit. The red and orange framed buggy launched hard from the starting line and charged straight up a tall, rugged dirt hill. As it reached the rocky section midway up the climb, the vehicle lost momentum, slid backward, and tumbled repeatedly down the hillside. The blue pickup truck launched high over a dirt jump. As it landed and began setting up for the next corner, the driver suddenly lost control. The truck veered into a deep roadside ditch, flipped over once, and came to rest completely upside down. The gray-framed buggy splashed through a water crossing before accelerating hard toward a near-vertical rocky climb. The vehicle suddenly ran out of momentum, slid sharply backward, flipped over once, and came to rest completely upside down in the muddy pit below. The gray-framed buggy splashed through a water crossing before accelerating hard toward a near-vertical rocky climb. The vehicle suddenly ran out of momentum, slid sharply backward, flipped over once, and came to rest completely upside down in the muddy pit below. The green-framed buggy accelerated aggressively, throwing dirt and dust everywhere as it fought its way up a steep, near-vertical dirt hill. Just as it reached the crest, the vehicle lost momentum, reared up backward, and tumbled chaotically multiple times down the long hillside before coming to rest completely upside down at the bottom of the slope. The green buggy accelerated hard down the racecourse alongside its competitors, charging over a series of rugged dirt jumps through thick clouds of dust. As it descended into a sharp downhill turn, the heavy impact caused the driver to lose control. The buggy flipped over once and came to rest completely upside down beside a muddy puddle at the bottom of the slope. The black-framed buggy powered through a series of rugged turns before accelerating toward a near-vertical rock face deep in the forest. The driver stayed on the throttle, the engine roaring as the tires clawed over massive boulders and kicked up thick clouds of dust. Just as the buggy was about to crest the climb, it was suddenly thrown upward, lost balance, flipped backward once, and came to rest completely upside down on the steep rocky slope. The blue-framed buggy accelerated up a steep dirt hillside through the forest. Midway up the climb, the vehicle was jolted upward, reared nearly vertical, and slid backward. It finally came to a stop with its rear wheels wedged against a tree trunk. The blue-framed buggy accelerated aggressively and charged up a tall dirt hill. Just before reaching the crest, the vehicle was launched violently into the air, then tumbled chaotically multiple times down the long hillside, trailing a massive cloud of dust before finally coming to rest at the bottom of the slope. The buggy accelerated powerfully and surged straight up a high mound. Upon reaching the crest, it launched into the air, performed a full flip, and crashed hard onto the opposite slope, landing completely upside down amidst a cloud of swirling dust. The mud-covered gray UTV accelerated through a muddy pit before climbing a slippery dirt hill in the forest. However, the vehicle lost momentum, slid backward, flipped over once, and came to rest completely upside down. The green-framed buggy accelerated hard up a slippery, rocky hill in the forest. The vehicle lost momentum, rolled backward, and slid rapidly down the slope. However, it landed safely back on all four wheels right in front of the crowd of spectators. The blue pickup truck accelerated across a muddy section before launching off a high dirt berm. The vehicle lost balance in midair, flipped 1.5 times, and landed completely upside down. The orange-framed buggy accelerated hard to climb a steep rocky slope deep in the forest. Midway up the climb, the vehicle was jolted violently, lost traction, flipped backward, and came to rest upside down with its rear end leaning against a tree beside the trail. The red-framed buggy powered up a narrow, rocky trail deep in the forest. As it reached the steeper section of the climb, the vehicle lost momentum, slid backward, tipped onto its side, and rolled over once before coming to rest safely back on all four wheels. The green-framed buggy powered hard up a rugged, rocky slope through the forest. As it reached the steep upper section, the vehicle was suddenly launched upward, reared nearly vertical, then flipped backward down the slope before crashing heavily into a tree trunk. The green-framed buggy accelerated hard and launched off a steep dirt embankment. While airborne, the vehicle rolled backward, landed on its rear end, then flipped over one more time before coming to rest upside down. The yellow off-road Jeep pushed hard to climb a steep, rocky ledge. Near the top, it lost momentum, slid backward down the slope, then rolled completely onto its roof, coming to rest across the narrow trail in the mountain ravine. The green-framed off-road vehicle accelerated up a rugged, slippery, rocky hill. It lost momentum and struck a tree, causing it to flip over. Although the driver attempted to hit the gas to break free and regain balance, the vehicle rolled over again and came to rest upside down on the hillside. The white pickup truck accelerated hard and launched off a high mound, soaring into the air. It lost its balance midair and landed awkwardly, flipping over and tumbling into a mud pit, where it came to rest upside down. The green buggy accelerated hard up a tall dirt hill through the forest. As it launched off the crest, the vehicle slammed into a tree trunk, midair flipped over and slid down the hillside. The The pickup truck launched off a high dirt jump, soaring over a large mud pit. After landing, the vehicle lost balance, rolled onto its side, then flipped completely upside down into the next muddy pit. The red-framed buggy powered up a slippery dirt hill through the forest. As it struggled to climb over the rough, uneven section, the vehicle lost momentum, rolled completely onto its roof, and came to rest at the bottom of the hillside. The blue buggy accelerated hard up a tall dirt hill through the forest. Just before reaching the crest, the vehicle lost momentum, slid backward, then tumbled repeatedly down the steep hillside before coming to rest completely upside down on the flat ground below. The red and white UTV accelerated across a rocky, dry creek bed. As it attempted to climb a tall rock ledge on the bank, the vehicle lost momentum, rolled backward, flipped over, and came to rest completely upside down in the creek bed. The buggy accelerated aggressively, repeatedly launching over steep dirt jumps. As it charged up the next berm, the vehicle lost balance, flipped backward, and came to rest completely upside down in a massive cloud of dust. The gray buggy accelerated hard to climb a rugged rocky hill in the forest. As it reached the steeper section, the vehicle lost traction and rolled completely upside down. However, it continued rolling one more time and successfully landed back on all four wheels. The white-framed buggy accelerated hard up a steep rocky climb. Halfway up the slope, the vehicle lost balance, reared nearly vertical, then tipped completely backward and tumbled down the hillside. The green pickup truck accelerated hard across the muddy track before launching high off a dirt jump. However, it landed awkwardly, flipped over, and came to rest completely upside down in a muddy pit. The black buggy accelerated hard before launching off a steep dirt jump. The vehicle soared into the air, landed on its rear end, then flipped several times before coming to rest completely upside down. The gray-framed buggy accelerated hard, powering up a narrow, steep dirt climb through a mountain ravine. As it charged up the upper section, the front end lifted violently and the vehicle launched into the air, flipped backward, then crashed into the ravine below, coming to rest completely upside down in a thick cloud of dust. The buggy with the black and white checkered livery tried to power its way up a steep, muddy climb. As it fought for traction, the front end suddenly lifted the vehicle, flipped completely onto its roof, and came to rest, wedged in the narrow dirt gully. The red and gray framed buggy accelerated hard up a slippery red dirt hill. As it attempted to clear the steep section, the front end suddenly lifted the vehicle, flipped backward, then slid all the way down the slope before coming to rest completely upside down at the bottom. The gray-framed buggy accelerated hard up a rugged dirt and rock hill. As it launched over a high ledge, the rear of the vehicle kicked upward and slammed into a tree trunk, leaving the buggy tilted and leaning against the dirt embankment. The Jeep surged up a steep slope. Its front end was violently thrown upward, causing the vehicle to flip over backward and land completely upside down right at the water's edge. The buggy numbered 4,454 accelerated hard up a rugged rocky hill. As it reached the steeper section, the vehicle lost momentum, pitched backward, flipped over, then tumbled several times down the slope before coming to rest completely upside down at the bottom. The buggy accelerated hard up a narrow, rutted red dirt hill. As it charged up the steep ledge, the front end suddenly lifted, the vehicle flipped backward, then slid all the way down the slope before coming to rest completely upside down at the bottom. The red lifted pickup truck accelerated hard and launched high off a dirt jump. It landed on its rear end, pitched forward, nose dived into the dirt track, completed a full rollover, and then landed back on all four wheels. The white-framed buggy accelerated hard up a rugged red dirt hill through the forest. As it reached the steep upper section, the vehicle lost balance, rolled completely onto its roof, and came to rest upside down in a thick cloud of exhaust smoke. The black buggy numbered 4,452 powered up a rugged rocky hill through the forest. Near the top, it lost momentum, slid backward, and flipped over tail first into the ground. Carried by the rollover, the buggy completed one more full rotation and landed safely back on all four wheels. The brown lifted pickup truck accelerated hard and launched high off a dirt jump. The vehicle lost balance, midair nose dived into a muddy pit, flipped over, and came to rest completely upside down in the thick mud. The gray buggy with green accents accelerated hard along the dirt track before launching off a steep jump. As it struck the concrete wall, the front end pitched skyward, sending the vehicle into a backward flip. It crashed back to the ground and came to rest completely upside down in a cloud of dust. The blue buggy powered across the shallow stream and charged up a near-vertical rock face. Just before reaching the top, it lost momentum, flipped backward, and slid down the slope. The vehicle then completed one more roll and landed safely on all four wheels in the water below. The gray buggy accelerated hard up a rugged red dirt hill through the forest. The vehicle suddenly pitched upward, launched into the air, flipped backward, then crashed down and came to rest upside down against a tree beside the trail. The white-framed buggy accelerated hard up a rugged rocky hill through the forest. As it crested the steep climb, the vehicle lost balance, flipped backward, slid down the steep slope on its roof, and finally came to rest completely upside down at the bottom of the hill. The lifted pickup truck accelerated hard along the dirt track before launching high off a large dirt mound. The vehicle nose dived into a muddy water pit, flipped over, and came to rest completely upside down in the thick mud. The green buggy accelerated hard up a towering dirt hill. Partway up the climb, one of the wheels struck a large rock, causing the vehicle to slide sideways, roll several times, and finally crash into the water at the bottom of the hill. The off-road vehicle accelerated powerfully, charging up the towering earthen hill. Nearing the summit, it was violently launched into the air, flipped backward, and tumbled repeatedly down the slope before coming to a halt completely upside down amidst a thick cloud of exhaust smoke.